Region tonight, Acadian Ambulance is teaming up with the National EMS Academy to train first responders for Northeast Louisiana. Devontae Martin looked into the need and joins us with the details. Devontae?
Yes, Jennifer. Beginning November 14th, Acadian Ambulance will offer an EMT course in West Monroe.
There's plenty of opportunity to advance your career with Acadian.
The Acadian Ambulance EMT course in North Louisiana will be 16 weeks long, and students will meet 2 times a week. Officials say candidates do not need any specific requirement to get into the class. After registration, candidates will go through an interview process to be selected. Acadian recruiter Lindsay Leger says they wanted to make the classes attractive to students in Northeast Louisiana.
Honestly, we want to bulk up more everywhere in the company. This is just a way we don't actually have a training academy in Monroe. So therefore, we're putting on these classes to help educate these people and give them a chance at an EMS career so that they don't have to travel to different areas to do so.
This location is the first in North Louisiana. Leger says the class is a great opportunity to start in the medical field.
It's a perfect opportunity for anyone who's looking to get into a rewarding career, just because it's a 16-week course. So it's not going to take 4 years or anything like that. And it gets your foot in the door. You won't have any debt, you won't have anything except for a certification at the end of it.
Leger explained how this certification can open up more opportunities.
If you decide that you want to further your education even more and you would like to get your paramedic license, since you would be an employee with this, we will actually help you do that.
Registration is online through November 5th. Visit knoe.com for more registration details. Jennifer?